Hello, everybody. And today we went live just to make an announcement. We created this beautiful Facebook group for like minded people, and it's the group about love and relationship where we are going to be freely discussing different topics and here to support and guide you on this beautiful journey of love. Um, just wanted to see what Bruno has to add to that. Why did we create this beautiful community?
So we created this beautiful community. Yeah, anyways, first of all, welcome all of you to this beautiful Saturday afternoon, or for me, but morning or night for wherever you are watching from. We have created this beautiful community Facebook group to bring in people from everywhere. In my case, I went through a lot of mental health problems, and I never, would never, or will never want anybody to go through that by themselves. It's tough, it's very confusing, it's very challenging, depending on what happens, right? And it's it's a good way of bringing in a lot of people who want to not only learn but feel accepted in a community that they always envisioned of being in, a community that does not judge them, does not discriminate them by their views, by their beliefs, by whatever they do, right? A community that openly talks about anything and anything that is seen again as shameful, that people try to make you look like you are being shameful, that try to make you look like you are being discriminated, get kicked out of the group like this, because there's none of that in here. It's a place free of taboo, and it's a place where everybody can come along and share their views, share their beliefs openly and effortlessly.
Thank you. And I think it's just like the fact that we are all trying to navigate in this interesting field called love and relationship. And a lot of people are very closed off. They are not opening up. They don't have somebody to share their personal thoughts or their worries or their questions. So the idea was that we are going to be here raising our awareness about love and relationship because this is something we are also growing. This is something where we could learn different tools to support us on this beautiful journey. This is for people who are singles and looking for their special someone, or this is for people who are already in relationship and they want to deepen that connection. Because let's face it, we are so busy with our everyday life that we don't really pay much attention to the connection, and these bonds have to be stronger. And a lot of times we go through turbulence in the relationship, and this is a great place to navigate this kind of turbulence with ease and grace. Once, because we know once we have that support, once we have that knowledge, we learn how to communicate better. We know how to understand our partners better, and so on and so forth. And Kara is here today to be a voice of the audience. Kara, any questions that we can address? Oh, Kara is frozen, right?
Yeah, Kara froze.
Yes. So basically, it's just, for people to come in. We are gonna have weekly lives where we are gonna do Q&As, and you could come up and ask any kind of questions. We are here to answer. We are here to support. And there is it's not free judgment zone. Everybody is here to be understood and accepted and expressed for whatever they are. And so, Bruno, anything else you would like to add about this community? Like, why would people join it?
Yeah, I mean, people will join because I think lots of people are just simply tired of dealing with that feeling of judgment, that feeling of like suppressing their emotions, and that feeling of like suppressing again what they feel, and suppressing really everything that they want to put out. They're afraid that it won't be accepted, right? People are tired of living in a world where they have to constantly put on this facade, and like they have to put on this act that they are not, that they are all right and their life is so perfect, simply because they're afraid of showing how they really are. right? And having to then join uh, groups of people who really do not stand what they really believe in, right? Simply to hide in it, right? And the reality is that those people, they're not bad people. They are just people who are afraid, and they don't want people to really see them struggle, right? Nobody wants to have anybody point the finger at them. Nobody wants to have anybody talking bad about them. Nobody wants to have their name being thrashed and shamed. And I think that's what people believe it will happen if they really will kind of just open up themselves to the world and to their family and to their friends, you know, and they're just afraid. People don't want to be alone. People don't want to feel alone. And this is what this group is all about, is to tell you like, listen, this is a safe place for you to open up. This is a safe place for you to talk about anything you want regarding the topic of the group, love and relationships, right? Whether if you're single, whether if you're a couple, right? You can come in and you can truly just experience the freedom of speech, right? You can fully experience what freedom of speech and what freedom really is all about. Because, like it was said, it's a place for no discrimination, for no single type of anything regarding. Or you can talk about that. Now, everything can be talked about if it's in a respectful and kind and caring manner. Apart from that, that's it.
Karen, ask us the questions. Be the audience. Be the voice of the audience.
I'm back. I got it. All right. Yes. Okay. So, what I'm hearing so far is that you now have created a community that is a safe place for people to have conversations about love and relationship. So, what I would want to know is how are you going to facilitate those conversations? Because communication is like the hardest thing in relationships, from the first word to the last.
That's a beautiful question. And that's so true because a lot of people really lack the skills on communication. And we want to engage people. We are going to do the polls to see which topics would be of interest. We want to do engagement, also engagement posts with the open questions. And we are going to be doing a lot of content and see which content more resonates with the people, and we're just going to build that beautiful community, right? Because I think also another good thing besides communication is the emotional maturity, and this is something that a lot of people are lacking, because if people were more emotional mature in terms that they were educated in terms how to handle better their emotions, how not to react, right, to anything, but rather response with the way of taking a pause when it's necessary and then speak to the person. I think the more emotionally mature we become, the better naturally our relationships are going to be. Anything else, Kara, that you would want to know, like if you were to join the community?
Oh, so I would love to hear Bruno too. What were your thoughts on how are you going to help facilitate those conversations?
Well, obviously, we're leaders here, right? We all understand what leadership means and what leadership is all about. So the best way that you can, and that anybody can truly facilitate interactions and stuff, is to take the first step and show that, right? Show that you are perfectly capable and you are honest, because people can hear your words and people can, you know, see, oh, okay, no, whatever. But if people don't see the action and if people don't really see you taking that step, right, then people are going to be like, oh yeah, fine, but you know, like, I mean, there's not much more than that, right? And that's where it changes. That's where it changes, where you really have to take that step, show that, you know, like, you are way more than what you talk about, right? But in this case, everything is going to be about communication. But just taking that step and initiating the conversation, initiating the topic, right? Showing that you really are all about that, and even opening up about your own self to the whole world, to a Facebook community, is the best thing that, in my opinion, could totally be done.
Love that. So you've been doing the Love It and Shove It podcast for quite some time now, and you've developed quite a community around that. What are some of the conversations you think or hope might come up?
I think the conversation, like the best rate was about jealousy and trust in relationship, about sex in relationship, like some of the important thing, how to, like sparkle that flame, right? It's very important, especially when people are staying in relationship for a long time. It's kind of, it becomes too routine. So there are always a way to make it more magical, right? Also for the people who really want to understand why it's always the way they might fall in love, but the other person doesn't respond, or why they get ghosted and how to handle everything. So there are like a lot of interesting topics related the love and relationship. And the best I think is for people to understand that there is nothing to be frightened about, because a lot of times people are too scared to step into this field because the fear holds them. The fear of the past experiences, the fear of the broken heart, the fear of trust into another human being. And this is exactly what paralyzed a lot of people. And they just decide that the love is not in the cards for them. And this is not true. We all can experience the best and the most magic and miraculous love in our life, and it's the matter of how bad you want it, and it's the matter how bad you want to work for it.
Bruno, same question to you. What are some of the conversations you anticipate or hope to be able to have?
Um, anything really. It's a place where there's no taboo. That's one of the massive advantages of our group, is that like anything in our group can be talked about, as long as it's talked in a very peaceful and safe way to talk about, with no discrimination. I mean, like, I am open to anything, and as long as people are receptive and they are open-minded, it's beautiful and it's great, and there's nothing to fear and there's nothing to worry about, because then again, right, we're all human beings, we're all living beings, and we all have our emotions. And sometimes people just need to open up about their life, right? And the reality is that, like, sometimes people would much rather open up to strangers than to open up to the people that they kind of feel they see every day, or that they live with every day, right? And yes, sure, we're all strangers in a group, but the reality is that we don't really have to be, right? We can open up with each other, and we can engage in any sort of discussion of what anybody believes, again, with moderation in your speech and no like discrimination.
I love
I
that.
love it. You know what comes for me? The support. The support
Yeah.
is number one, because people oftentimes they are not opening up because they are afraid to be judged. They are afraid to be misunderstood. So this is very important for people to have the space where they feel that they can come and they could share their problems, their worries, right? And nobody's going to be judged, and it's like a supportive place where people are going to be understood, and people are going to be taken care of, and people are going to be loved, because this is love and relationship. It means that everybody has to receive that love. And although we are separated on the, in the plane of the community and society, the way it is, but we are all connected on the higher plane, right? On the spiritual side. So we are all connected. There is no separation. So we highly recommend to join, just for you to try to see what this is all about, because the only way to figure out if this is for you or not is to try it. Bruno, do you want to say anything else?
Yes. Remember that, like Irina said before as well, like, remember that you're not alone in this world. And I want you to understand something here, which is, just because the world you interact with every day does not understand you, does not mean that that applies to the actual entire world. And that's the beauty of the internet, right? Is that like, I mean, sure, the people that you interact with every day don't understand you, but you easily get inside a Facebook community, right? And you just see so many people opening up and just with the same problems as you, maybe from a different country, maybe from a different city, maybe with different families, right? But the same problems as you, right? Maybe it happened in a different way, but the same problems as you, right? And suddenly you open up to a whole different world, right? To a whole different perspective, and it becomes addicting because it's exactly like what you truly wanted all your life. It's different, it's new, it becomes addicting, right? When we see the same thing every single day, right? And we interact with the same people, life becomes so boring that we so need something new. And that's exactly what we bring. That's exactly what we bring to the table. And if that is not a reason of like why us, right? Why our group, then again, the free taboo zone where we are not in any sort of ways awkward in talking about whatever it is. There's not a right answer. There's never a right answer, because even the stuff you see in books, it's only right until proven wrong, right? It's all beliefs. It's all an opinion, right? And I think that's really the beauty of community, right? And yes, for sure, pop up and try it out for yourselves. And we receive everybody with open arms. And yes, I truly cannot wait. It's gonna be amazing.
So what I'm hearing is it's a global community of authentic support and honest communication that allows for differences of opinion in a safe and loving space.
Yes.
Yes.
And while I think that that speaks and ought to speak directly to anybody who's interested in that, being there for anyone but not everyone, right? So we don't want anybody who, just because somebody else's yum is your yuck, we're not gonna tell them you're gross. We're gonna say I'm not into that, right? What are some of the other ways that you would know this is not the right place for you?
This is not the right place for you if you are not ready to explore and grow and understand, growing your awareness about this field. If you are not open and close-minded person who thinks that everything is only one way, for somebody who doesn't believe that love happens, and for somebody who is just not ready for that at this time, right? Because we all have our timing for things. So if this is something that doesn't resonate with you, if this is not your message, then this community is not for you. Bruno.
Bruno, what do you think?
Nice.
Who should not come join this group?
I think everybody who like reads something and their first session is like, uh, no, that's not for you. Because like what our ideal person, let's say, the people that we truly would like to see, is not people who get like awkward in any sort of matter, or right. We're talking about people who really like, who really are open about discussing those type of things. And there's so many people like that, and sometimes it's even the people that we least expect, right? But yes, I mean, if you're not ready to explore any sort of love and relationship stuff, or if you are not open enough to talk about any sort of stuff, and if you are a person who it's not about not going through a happy time. It's all about how you react. Like any sort of, again, like any sort of bad behavior, let's say, it's just not accepted, right? We're here to support each and every one. right? And everybody's ears here to support everybody in the most peaceful, good way possible.
You know
To feel
what
open.
comes for me? For me also comes, this is not for haters. This is not for for people who are judgmental. This is not for critics. So this is for people who really love other people and for people who want to discover and deep their knowledge and communication and um, intimacy in love and relationship field.
So we know who the community is
Yeah.
for. We know who it's not for. It's not for those who are judgmental, who believe there's only one right way, who get weird and uncomfortable when other people share themselves authentically. If that's you, this probably is not a group you're gonna be uncomfortable here. It's not even that we don't want you, but you're not gonna love it. So don't. I love that. So we know who it's for. We know who it's not for. What are some of the benefits for being in the community? What are some of the things that they can expect?
The benefit, this is a great question. The benefit is to get to know yourself better, understand your likes, understand your dislikes, um, having more connection to others, and also getting better in the field of communication, getting better in romance, getting better in emotional intelligence, getting better at every day dealing with your partner or every day dealing with the opposite sex.
Yes. Yes,
And I
and
think
honestly, oh, sorry, Irina. Sorry. Now
And I
I was
think it's
gonna add.
also about enrichment, right? Enrichment, because we are
Yes.
here to learn and to grow. When the person says, I don't need it, I know it all, well, guess what? We are on this life journey. And as long as we are breathing, we continue learning. No matter how much you know, there is so much that we don't know. So it's still a lot to explore, and it's great to keep our mind open and be curious and to learn, because the more we learn, the better we become, the better we grow, the better we can handle any situation in our life.
Yes.
Bruno, I'm sorry you wanted to add something.
No, it was that kind of more or less. Yes. I mean, that's kind of that. It's just like there's so the moment it becomes a free place, the limits that you can put your speech at are legitimately off, because if there you can talk about anything and everything, then it's off. Uh, when it comes to love and relationships, right? Um, and I think that that really is awesome and amazing because, I mean, how many people again like every day like suppress their emotions, like and all that energy that just dies inside of them, right? And like we're not talking about like going inside a group and again like just dumping your frustrations on people. Not the that's not the objective or the goal of the group. The goal of the group is to go into the go into an engagement or a conversation and just, oh, I don't know what to do here, or you know, like I've been through this, or right now I'm going through a situation, and just either asking for help or just putting it out there, right? And we're all here to listen to everybody and engage with everybody, you know, and just full on help, right? Because I think that's really the that's really the you know, and also we are going to start a newsletter, right? That we are going to also share through email. And that also will also tell a lot about our stories, a lot about where we came from, our backgrounds. So there is that sense of connection and there is that sense of understanding, not only to show you that you are indeed in a safe place to open up, but also that nobody here is better than anybody. Um, we're all human beings. We all have blood and, you know, organs, and hair and stuff, right? Unless you're going through like any sort of like disease, but that's a different story, right? We all humans still. Sorry. Um, and yes, obviously, we're all the same. We all have value. Remember that, right? We all have value, right? No matter what, we all have value. And it's not your money or your identity or where you come from or your background or the house that you have or the car that takes away that value. That's all materialistic. That's all superficial, right? That is all superficial, right? In fact, you can be the richest person on the planet, and like theoretically, right? You can be very rich, right? And not be a very good person, let's say. And you can be broke and be an awesome person, right? Um, so in reality, we're all the same, no matter how rich, no matter how broke, no matter how tall or small, no matter how fat or skinny or muscular or not, doesn't matter, right? We all have feelings and we all feel them and we all want to get them out of us, and nobody wants to either take them out with your punches or your kicks, or even with your tears. People want to tell them openly and freely, smiling, and feeling peaceful within somebody's aura and energy, because obviously that's what we all want. We want peace. And what better way to find that peace? Not in 1, 2, 5, 10 people, but in a lot of people, right? A community where like everybody understands each other, a community where like everybody respects each other's time, or at least tries to really. Um, and yeah, I think that's really awesome, and I think that's something that the world lacks right now. To be severe on the right things, and to be severe on the right things is to, for me, destroy the common stigmas that really appear and exist in the majority of the things, and drive people to a safe place, whether if it's online, which it is, where people can just do whatever they want, right, in a respectful manner.
Okay, so what I heard there is the benefits of this community is that it's an open community where the leaders are willing to be as vulnerable and willing to learn and share as everyone else in the group, so that it really is genuinely a safe space. And that there's a newsletter that'll
Yep.
come out when it will, I didn't hear when, but that will, and what will be in that?
So the newsletter right now is still on the making. We're going to build our audience to a certain number of people, um, but until then, we'll just continue building our newsletter. And yeah, the newsletter will have a lot of vulnerability there, right? From me and Irina, and we're going to share our stories, and we're going to share our problems, but we're also going to share our winnings. We're going to share our breakthroughs. We're going to share everything, because this is really the point of it. Is like, it is incredible to be you. And the only reason why you believe it's not incredible to be you is because you believe that people do not will not believe that if you really show yourself as the way you are. So in reality, people find you incredible, but they only find you incredible because of what you show, right? Because you know them well. Or it's not that you know, it's that you believe that people will not find you incredible if you show everything, right? And then it comes a lot from social media. But and that requires work, and that's all right. But again, not having to do it by yourself, right? You join a community, people help each other, right? You suddenly become addicted to the energy, and you become addicted to having those conversations, right? And even if you believe that, I can have these conversations with everybody, you can, in the right place, right, with the right people. And that's it. We are allowing you a space where you can come in and you can really open up and have those type of conversations, and really love your experience over there, right? To show you that life is not what you see every day. Life can be much more than that, regarding the people that you interact with online, right? Yes.
Okay, so what I heard there is that the newsletter is really going to be informed by the community. So, what you learn from people, what gets discussed, the challenges that come up will inform what goes in that newsletter. So, it's really applicable to what everybody is going through. And one thing that you know is going to come up is that very common trope where we compare ourselves to other people's highlight reels while looking at our behind the scenes and thinking that they don't compare because one's a highlight reel and one's behind the scenes. And I think that that is valid. Arena, what are some of the
Yeah.
things you think will come up for that newsletter?
I think it's also gonna include the tips for how to navigate love, right, and relationship, and how to become in control of your own emotions, because we cannot allow anybody else but ourselves to control what's going on with our emotions, and it's very important. And when we give people tips and tools, they are going to be more equipped on how to handle, and they are going to be less fearful to go and enjoy. They're going to just look at it as the process of fun rather than as stress. So it's very important to equip people with the tools and strategies and tips so they feel absolutely confident that no matter where they go, they're going to attract that right partnership, or they're going to deepen whatever relationships they're in.
So I heard there that in relationship it's often, well, if they would just, but we don't get any control over them, we only get control with this. So tips, tricks, hacks, tools to navigate those relationships gives us the authority to find the really healthy ones, and that's one of the benefits of the community.
And
Yeah.
healthy boundaries. Yeah.
Yes.
To remember that we are the ones to have these boundaries, right? So we, if the person doesn't treat us the way we accept, this is up to us. Because if we are not gonna engage in that communication with these people, if we are not gonna allow them to act the way we do not like, guess what? These people are just gonna be cut from our life, or they are not gonna be allowed to step over our boundaries. And boundaries are very important. That's where a lot of pain starts. That's where a lot of hurt happens, when people allow others to be in control of their lives. And this is not the way it's supposed to be. And that's exactly, it's going to be, like very educational, very eye opener. And this is a process, and it's not an easy process, but so much rewarding. So, and we are here like all the way through to hold your hand and to root for you for becoming a better version of yourself and be that loving, the most genuine person who is going to be in the most genuine and loving relationship.
I don't know that I have any more questions. It sounds fantastic to me. There's a global community that just got created by the Love It and Shove It crew all around relationships and how to have healthy relationships so that people can come and discuss this in a safe place, what that even looks like. And there'll be lots of support around healthy boundaries. There'll be lots of support around dismantling other people's expectations in your life, and a lot of conversation around how to empower yourself to lead your own relationships. There'll be newsletters, there'll be lives, there'll be conversations, and two leaders who are absolutely willing to go to those weird places, have those weird conversations, and learn and grow with you. Did I miss anything?
This is beautiful, a very good summary.
That's good.
And yes, thank you, Kara, to be the voice of the audience. It's very important. And we are looking forward. We are welcoming people. Like we said, just come and see if this is for you, and just interact, engage, and let's grow this community of like-minded people, of people who care for other people, and for people who create this beautiful love and relationship. It's not necessarily just romantic, right? We are talking about the relationship with ourselves, right? To understand ourselves better, how to love ourselves better, the relationship with others, with the family members, with the friends, and so on. So it's like the whole palette of different relationships that we are gonna understand better, and we know that we'll be equipped with the tools to handle this field in much better way. On that note, Bruno, do you have any last word?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you, Kara, for being again the voice of the audience. Thank you so much for your resume. It was very awesome of the conversation. Great questions as well. Yeah, and that's really about it. Come in and on the Facebook group, and you know, see if you like it. We're all here to help each other and thrive together.
Yes.
Thank
Just
you so much.
realize we are not alone on this journey. Thank you so much,
Exactly.
and see you inside the group.